said they called him Hayeled, which just means the child, or Yeledi, my child, that he didn't really have a name because they knew that they didn't have the authority to give him a name. So it wasn't until he gets brought back that he's called Moses.
Interesting. All right, one more paragraph. After the court of Rav Ashi, who's the last one, composed the Talmud and completed in the time of his son, the Jewish people became further dispersed throughout all the lands, reaching the distant extremes and the far-removed islands. Strife sprung up throughout the world, and the paths of travel became endangered by troops. Torah study decreased, and the Jews ceased entering their yeshivot in the thousands and myriads, as was customary previously. Instead, individuals, the remnants who God called, would gather in each city and country, occupy themselves in Torah study, and devote themselves to understanding the text of the sages and learning the paths of judgment from them. Every court that was established after the conclusion of the Talmud, regardless of the country in which it was established, issued decrees, enacted ordinances, and established customs for the people of that country or those of several countries. These practices, however, were not accepted throughout the Jewish people because of the distance between their different settlements and the disruption of communication between them. Thus, we have the differences among the Jews. So anyway, that's what I brought to share this morning from Rambam. I thought was sort of fun. And it also, you remember this is covering the standing up to the Greeks and also the standing up to the Romans. And they managed to survive all of this.
They obviously were strong people with strong ethic
and faith.
And it drove them to do great things.
And amazing faith.
Yes.
Amazing faith.
Yes. Absolutely.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Barton. She's not connected.
She's just connecting to audio. She doesn't hear you yet.
I know. She's getting there. There it is. Happy birthday, Mrs. Barton. She's on mute.
Now.
You're on mute, Sue.
You are on mute, Mrs. Burton. The technology is tough.
Right. And the Cantor did not give me permission this morning.
Well, but even so, she can hear us.
Right. Thank you, Jabber. You're still muted, Sue.
Tell her it's that little red.
Down in the left-hand corner.
Just to click on that.
Or unmute yourself. No. Joel, can you unmute Sue?
Got it.
There you go.
Ta-da!
Yay. Good morning, everybody.
Good to see
Good morning.
you. I thought you'd be there. Were you there last night? I was looking for you last night.
At Galatoire's?
No.
That's where I was at Galatoire's, celebrating like we always did on Christmas Eve.
Right, but I thought you'd be at services first.
No,
Then go to Galatoire's.
no. We're here because 1 year ago today is when he was there the last time.
For his birthday.
And he chanted the prayers over the Torah the last year.
Yep.
So I decided I would just watch it this morning. That was more.
Well, we were expecting you, actually, Sue.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I would have been very disappointed had you not showed up. So Shabbat Shalom. Welcome.
Shabbat.
Hi, Cantor.
Good morning.
Good morning, Cantor.
Good morning. Hi, Sue.
Good morning.
All right. So let's mute everybody. There we go. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And glad that you're joining us here in the chapel. Let's start off on page 188 for those who have a Mishkan Tefillah with Hine Matov. Hine Matov Ulmanayim Shevet Achim Gam Yachad הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, 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 שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. ידי די, ידי די, 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 די. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. ידי די, ידי די, 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 די. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. We continue on page 186 with Moda Ani. Moda Ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shehechesata binishmati bechemla, bechemla, rava emunatecha, rava emunatecha, motehani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shehechesata binishmati bechemla, bechemla, rava emunatecha, rava emunatecha. Page 194. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who formed the human body with skill, creating the body's many pathways and openings. It is well known before your throne of glory that if one of them be wrongly opened or closed, it would be impossible to endure and stand before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously. Baruch atah Adonai, rofeh chol basar, umafli la'asot. Page 196. Elohai nishma shenatata bi tahora hi. My God, the soul you have given me is pure. You created, you shaped it, you breathed it into me, and you protect it within me. For as long as my soul is within me, I offer thanks to you, Adonai, my God, and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. Praised are you, Adonai, whom his hand is every living soul and the breath of humankind. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorahi. 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 We continue on page 198 with the Sim B'chol Yom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lasach v'bina l'chavkin ben yom u'ben layla. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam sokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam rokah haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hanoten layef koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hama'avir sheina mehinai u'duma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani b'tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani ben korim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shasani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam oter Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahasok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Elu devarim she'ein lahem shiur she'adam ochel b'torehem be'olam hazeh. These are things that are limitless, for which a person enjoys the fruit of the world. While the principle remains in the world to come, they are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. We continue on page 218 with Psalm 150. Hallelu, 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 hallelu. Kohan Shema Tehallel, hallelu, hallelujah. Kohan Shema Tehallel, hallelu, hallelujah. Hallelu, 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 hallelu. Kohan Shema Tehallel, hallelu, hallelujah. Kohan Shema Tehallel, hallelu, hallelujah. Hallelu, 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 hallelu. Page 224. Yitkada v'yikada shemei rabah v'yomad v'racharute v'yanich b'chute b'chayechom u'vyomechom u'v'chayedechol beit Yisrael Bagala, bagala, u'v'zman kariv v'yimeru Amen. Yeheshmei Rabba Mivarach Le'olam olamei Almaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitbar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yithadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha Briku V'hela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, daminam beyama, ve'yimeru, amen. We continue with Baruch Hu and its blessings found on page 226, and we rise. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Leholam, Leholam, Vahem. Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer or uvarei chosha, Oseh shalom uvarei et hakol hameir la'aretz, v'ladarim alaha berachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit. Ma rabu ma'asech Adonai kulam b'chochma asita, Malah ha'aretz kinyanecha, titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shavach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or sha'asita yifa'arucha sela, or chadash al Tzion ta'ir, v'nizkeh chulanu meheira le'oro, baruch ata Adonai, yotzer ha'me'orot. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonai, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vahed. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'eile asher nochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'shokbecha u'v'kumhecha u'kshatam le'ohot ha'yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam hamizuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'elokechem ani Adonai Elokechem asher hotzeti atchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'elohim ani Adonai Elokechem. Page 239. The eternal truth is that you alone are God, and there is none else. May the righteous of all nations rejoice in your love and exult in your justice. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, nor learn war anymore. You shall not hate your brother or your sister in your heart. The stranger that sojourns with you shall be accepted as your equal, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Why do you crush my people and oppress the poor? Asked God. We know that the Eternal One defends the poor and upholds the rights of the needy. Praise to God Most High, blessed is God and deserving of blessing. Mi kamocha b'helim Adonai, mi kamocha neda b'kodesh, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele, shira chadasha, shivhu gavlim leshincha, osfat hayam, Yachad kulam hodu v'him liku ve'amiru Adonai imloch lehulam vahed Tzur Yisrael kum ve'ezrat Yisrael. Uvteichenu mecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go'aleinu Adonai tzevot shemo Kedosh Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai God Yisrael. We continue on page 242. We rise for tefillah. Adonai sifetai tiftach ufi yadi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imoteinu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Geulah Livnei B'neihem, Limhan Shemo Ba'ava, Melech Uzel Moshiach Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayei HaKol, Atah Rav L'Hoshia, Mechalkel Chaim B'Chesed, Mechayei HaKol B'Rachamim Rabim, Sohumech Noflim Ve'Rofei Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamo Kapal Kivurot, Umidom Mehilach, Melech Mebit, Umekayem, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'neiman Atah L'chikayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei HaKol. Nekadesh Shimcha ba'olam, Kishem Shemateshim Oto Bishmei Adon, Kakatuv Oyad Niviecha, V'Karazel Zevei Amar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melochol Haaretz, Kevodo, Adir Hadirenu Adonai, Adonenu Mahadir Shimcha Bechol Haaretz, Baruch Kevod Adonai, Mimkomo, Echad Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu Ve'Hu Yashmienu, Berachamav V'nei Kol Chai, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Yimloch Adonai Le'olam, Elohai Tzion, Le'dor Vador, Hallelujah. Le'dor Vador Nagid Kod Lecha, U'netzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Nagish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. Please be seated. Yismeku v'malachutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Yismeku v'malachutecha shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei oneg Shabbat. Mekadeshei shevi Shabbat. Kulam yisperu ויתענגו מטוב השבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. ובשבי רצית בו וקידשתו שבת, רמדת ימים אותו קראת שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, זכר למעשה בראשית שבת, זכר למעשה בראשית שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת, ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת. We continue on page 252. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu ritzei ve'vinuchatenu. Our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest, sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah, satisfy us with your goodness, and glide on us with your salvation, purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai, our God, grant us your holy Shabbat as a heritage. May Israel, who sanctifies your name, rest on Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, who sanctifies the Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. Page 254. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael utfilatam ba'ahava tekabel uti l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer and love. May the worship of your people, Israel, always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants, pour out your spirit upon us. Page 256. Modim anachnu lak she'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu le'olam va'ed. We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, and for your wondrous deeds and favors at every time of day, evening, morning, and noon. O good one, whose mercies never end, compassionate one, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you. Page 258. Our prayer for peace. Sim shalom. Sim shalom, sim shalom, tova uvracha, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Sim shalom, sim shalom. take a moment for silent meditation. Ose shalom yimrumav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'alko Yisrael, Yisrael ose shalom. Yimrumav, uyase shalom, aleinu, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'alko Yisrael, ve'yimeru, amen. We turn to page 371 for our prayer for healing. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. Lauren Bowman, Deward Bronson, Laura D. Christina, Dr. Jack Hudson, Edward Lefko, Joel Webb. Misheberach Avotenu Mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha ve'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We turn to our prayer book for Seder Kriyat HaTorah for this Shabbat, our Shabbat reading, our Torah reading for this Shabbat, and we rise. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udavar Adonai merushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah, Le'amo Yisrael B'kedushato. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo. Kadlu Adonai Iti Uromima Shemo. Shemo Yachdav. Lecha Adonai Hagedula Hagevura Hatifer Hamanet Sefeahu. Kiho Bashamayim Uvaretz, Kiho Bashamayim Uvaretz, Lecha Adonai Hamlata V'nigna Aseh Lekol Erosh. Well, our Torah portion is Shemot, the book of Exodus. We keep in mind on this December 25th, this would have been the birthday of our dear Herbert Barton. Yes, Sue? And it was at this Shabbat service last year, in which we had the honor of having Mr. Barton do the blessings before the Torah. So, Sue, we keep that in mind on this blessed Shabbat morning. Our Torah portion this morning, as I chant right from chapter 1, but verse 15, because we're going to be talking about two women in the Torah who, well, really don't get a lot of credit for what they did. We have Shifra and Puah. These are two Hebrew midwives who were under orders from Pharaoh to kill all the firstborn Hebrews. And they chose to go against Pharaoh's command and orders, and they saved Moses. It was really a very, very important moment. Will you excuse me for just a second? I hear someone at the door. Apologies. Anyways, this Torah portion really talks about these two heroines, Puah and Shifra, and really they're the first heroes in this book of Exodus. It's really quite fascinating. For those of you who have a plowed Chumash, we're on page 347. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavarach. Baruch Adonai havarach le'olam vahed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Vayomer melech Mitzrayim lam yiladot ha'ivriot asher shem ahachat Shifra v'shem hashevi Puah. Vayomer v'yalechen et ha'ivriot or iten hal ha'ovnaim im ben hu v'hamiten oto v'im bat hi v'chaya v'tirena Ham yeladot et ha Elohim velo asuhu kasher diber alehen melech Mitzrayim vatachayena et hayeladim vayikra melech Mitzrayim lamil yaladot vayomer lahen madua asiten hadavar hazeh Vatichayena et hayeladim, vatomarna ham yeladot el paro, ki lo chanashim hamitzriot haivriot, ki chayot hena b'terem tavo alehen ham yeladet v'yaladu, vayetev Elohim lama yiladot vayirev ha'am vaya'atzmuhu me'od vayahi Tira'u ham yiladot et ha-Elohim, vayas lahem batim, vayitzahav paroho lechol hamoho lemor, kol ha-bein ha-yiladot ha-yilohot ha-yira'ora tishlichuhu v'hol ha-bat techayun. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata b'tokenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. We rise as we honor the Torah. וזאת התורה שעשה משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. ידעי די 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 ידעי די ידעי ידעי די 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 ידעי ידעי די 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 ידעי די ידעי די Yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die 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 yada die yada We turn in our prayer book to page 377. Our prayer for the state of Eretz Yisrael. Sha'alu shalom Yerushalayim, yishlayu ohavayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. We turn to page 374. We turn to page 586 for our lean. Aleinu l'shabbat l'adol u'makol l'tei gidula l'yotzer breshit shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama shelo samtaltenu k'ahem ve'gor aleinu k'echol ha'olam v'na'achnu kori u'mishpachavim u'motiv lifnei melech molkei amakim Hakatosh Baruch Hu V'nemar V'chaya Adonai L'melech Olam Haaretz V'yom Ha'hu V'yom Ha'hu There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone, and so it is with people that we love. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. The stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. And on this Shabbat morning, we are in a period of Shloshim for Sandra Rabin Khan and Andrew Rivera. We also keep in our minds these names: Rachel M. Baginski, Viola Kaufman-Beer, Judy K. Bressler, Harry Davis, Eva B. Feibelman, Augusta K. Ferber, Rabbi Alan Isaac Freeling, Sarah Freehand, Regina G. Fry, Samuel Gamsu, Sarah Loeb Gamsu, Estelle Goldberg, Eva Hirsch, Ronald F. Katz, Fiona Hausman Klein, Meyer Lemon, Henrietta Z. Levine, Aaron Levy, Jane Levy Lucas, Michael Meyer, Fanny Arofsky, Raphael, Dorothy G. Schlesinger, Melba Lee Singh Stieg, Samuel A. Stieg, Delilah Levy Stern, Philip W. Taxman, Moses Lewis Tex, Jane Haskell Warschauer, Sadie K. Wright. We rise for a Kaddish prayer found on page 598. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabah v'almad v'rach erute v'amlik malchute v'chayachon v'yachon v'chayei d'kol beit Yisrael v'agala v'zman kariv v'emru amen. Yehi shmei rabah v'rach v'olam olamei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudashah b'riku Elamin kol birchata v'shirata tushbekata v'neklimata damiram be'alma v'emru. Amen. Yehi shloma rabba mishmaya v'chayim. Aleinu ve'akol Yisrael v'emru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'akol Yisrael v'emru. Amen. Ve'emru, ve'emru, ve'emru. Ve'emru, ve'emru, ve'emru. Amen. Well, we don't have many announcements, but the beam of flowers for the Shabbat was sponsored by Luz Molina in memory of Eli Murov on his birthday. Next weekend, December 31st, we will have Shabbat services led by Rabbi Sherman at 6 o'clock. Then on Saturday morning, we will have our Shabbat morning service, which will begin at 10:30. For our religious school families, Chavarat Sinai is currently on winter break and classes will be resuming in January. The Temple Sinai office will be closed on Friday, December 31st. In addition, I will be leaving on Wednesday for my 2-month sabbatical, and all being well, I will be heading out to a regional Cantors convention, which is supposed to be held in California on January 3rd. But given the recent rise in COVID cases, there will be a discussion on Monday whether that convention will still take place. I hope it can, but I certainly will understand if it doesn't. I will be heading out to parts of Louisiana and Texas and Oklahoma. On this trip out west, I don't think I'll be going as north as Bastrop, Louisiana, Miss Sue Barton.
Do you make it to Natchitoches
I
first?
am hoping to, yes, that's one of the trips that's one of
The
my-
lights should still be up if you go early.
The what will still be up?
The lights, they light the whole city.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I look forward to being in Natchitoches, and and then I'll head out toward in Alexandria. I hope to stop by and see my counterpart there, Cantor Rabbi Raina Soroti. I've been to her synagogue before in Alexandria. And I don't know, when I get on my motorcycle in the morning, I have no clue where I'm going to be staying that night. Absolutely no idea. And, but I know I'll find a place. It'll probably be a Holiday Inn somewhere. And I look forward to taking lots of pictures and, of course, sending videos in. You'll be able to follow me. I'm sure Temple Sinai will keep you abreast of where I will be. Let's conclude with the singing of My Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, My Hayom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. We turn for a Kiddush for Shabbat morning on page 604. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat l'torotam b'rit olam. Veni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat l'torotam b'rit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim va'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat l'torotam b'rit olam. Uvayom hashvi, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat l'torotam b'rit olam. Al kain barach Adonai et yom ha-Shabbat v'yakadshehu.
L'chaim.
Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
Slurp.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Cantor, thank you.
All of you have a good weekend, okay?
Okay, you have a very safe and interesting trip.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Glad you're not going to Bastrop. They have no place to stay.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Sue. I appreciate that heads up.
We will miss you.
Well, I look forward to telling you all about the adventures, and hopefully I'll have some interesting stories to share with all of you, okay?
Knowing you, I'm sure you will.
Okay. Everyone take care. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, Cantor.
Bye-bye.
Tada. Shakach.